Good morning. I am Anne, a Unity in Lynnwood prayer chaplain. I welcome you whether you are virtual or physically present. I'm so happy you're here. In a minute or two, we will welcome the stillness. Your very own rhythm of breathing is calling you. Let us place our feet on the ground and gently close our eyes if that's comfortable. The invitation is to lean into your own pace and depth of breathing, knowing that it is in divine perfection. May you embrace your unique divine expression within the inward silence. Spirit within holds you with love right where you are. Let us enter the silence now. Gently begin to open soft eyes. Move your feet to let you know that you are centered and grounded. Your being welcomes and incorporates the full experience of your silence. Rejuvenation breathes with you. Abundant gratitude wells up from within for our community. We bless all those who have graced our doors, both virtually and physically. And we bless all those on their way. We express deep gratitude for Dr. Richard, Matthew, and Nina, for all those in service, and for all those who are inspired to receive with an open heart. Thank you. Please take this affirmation with you if it resonates. I am graced with compassion in this now moment, and I lovingly carry it with me into the world. Thank you.
It's my great honor to welcome you to Unity in Lynnwood, where we affirm the inherent dignity, value, potential, and right to be of every life as an emanation of that one life we choose to call God. To explore on-campus and virtual opportunities for those aged toddler through 18, please contact that program's director. Our radical welcome includes all. Please stay in touch through the social media platforms of your choice by visiting unityinlynnwood.org, by registering to receive electronic communications, or by downloading the Breeze app. Those who download the Breeze app will receive a free gift through the mail. And if you would like to pray in strict confidence with one of UIL's trained prayer chaplains, whether for support or celebration or regular maintenance, start the process by contacting that program's director. We believe in the capacity of an elevated consciousness to give rise to an elevated experience. And UIL's Prayer Ministries is eager to support you in doing just that, whether virtually, in person, or by telephone. Finally, we believe giving in its highest form is a spiritual practice, and we're grateful to be among the beneficiaries of your spiritual practice. May your generosities of hand and heart return to you in untold ways as they reach into our greater world to bless. So again, welcome. Everything Unity in Lynnwood has is available to you. We're honored by our shared journey.
Stumbling through our humanity, we're just walking each other home. We're just walking each other home.
Good morning to each of you. I'm happy to welcome you here today. My name is Linda Babin, and I'm pleased and honored this morning to assist Reverend Nina Clark, our Associate Minister at Unity in Lynnwood. Dr. Richard is away on vacation, and hopefully he and Matthew are having a great time and enjoying their well-earned rest and renewal. It's so good to see people in our sanctuary this morning and any time. We also know there are others joining us from the comfort of home or other locations, near and far. I invite each of you joining us today to make yourself comfortable as you can, so that we can turn our attention together to the strengthening and renewal of spirit. One definition of spirituality I have carried around with me for maybe 30 years is the acceptance of what is. It's short and sweet and easy to remember. And maybe that's why it stuck with me, or maybe it's that it's rather profound. I've heard it repeated by many spiritual teachers since. Those words I read years ago in a book titled Love, Medicine, and Miracles by Bernie Siegel. You may have heard of it. It was a very popular book at the time. Bernie Siegel is not a theologian. He's a physician. He was a cancer surgeon. He arrived at his definition, at least in part, by listening deeply to his cancer patients. Dr. Siegel has written many books that inspire and has been featured in New Thought publications many times. This short definition leads me to something I try to make a daily practice, this habit of asking myself, so what is true before me today, within me today? We live in a universe of continuous motion, and I find what is to be a penetrating question. I don't always like the answer. When I look around me as objectively as I can, I see confusion, pain, suffering, disorder, chaos. I sometimes experience those same things in me. I also see amazing beauty, rich opportunity, incredible creativity, and limitless possibilities all around. Though without an intention to see those things, they may not be what captures my attention. This process of examination I think of as cleaning my lens, the lens through which I view the world. If I don't keep my lens somewhat clean and clear, then my actions are likely to be based on yesterday's problems or yesterday's solutions, mine or someone else's. My past decade here at Unity in Lynnwood has helped me build and strengthen other practices. For me, it boils down to some form of denial and affirmation, which flow out of a meditative time of stillness and reflection. I so appreciate the ongoing opportunities we have here to learn and practice such skills for bringing more satisfaction and depth to our lives each day. That's the practical part of our spirituality, tools for daily living. I'm going to invite you to join me now in a few moments of affirmative prayer, which comes from this process of reflection and prayer, which I think of as getting my thinking straight. Please take what fits for you, or use these moments to touch the place of deep wisdom and stillness at the center of you. If we close our outer eyes, it helps with focus. It also helps to start with a few very slow, deep breaths with the intention of calming every part of me, my body, my mind, my emotions, opening to the soul level of me, opening to a place where my soul is one with all souls. And I begin with a deep remembering. I am floating in, enveloped by, made of a creative force. I register that sensation of floating. I can't separate myself from this flow of vital energy we call God. I open to it, in it, for strength, for guidance, for whatever need is here now. To stop in this awareness is a restful, relaxing, renewing experience. There is no effort. The visible world of confusion, conflict, and uncertainties loosens its grip as I create an inner place of peace and harmony. I fill my bucket. As I still myself completely, I feel and I know the movement of divine life in me. It beats my heart. It fills my lungs. I am so grateful. All I need do is pay attention. Wisdom, insight, strength, ideas, and opportunities come from this process, often in remarkable and surprising ways. As I join my best efforts with those of others, we create what none of us could imagine doing alone. As we honor and join our unique contributions, we help grow a better world around us. And so it is.
Within me, peace surrounding me, peace from me. By thy grace, let there be peace. By thy grace, let there be peace. By thy grace, let there be peace within me, by thy grace let there be peace. By thy grace let there be peace. By thy grace let there be peace. Peace within me, peace surrounding me, peace from me. By thy grace let there be peace. By thy grace let there be peace. By thy grace let there be peace within me, peace surrounding me, peace from me. By thy grace let there be peace. By thy grace let there be peace. By thy grace let there be peace. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Oh, thank you. Thanks. So, Nina and Matthew and the email people that I've been talking to about playing today said do a welcome song. That wasn't it. That was not it. Although I hope you feel welcome. That's just, we sing that. Do you sing that at home or wherever you are when you hear Matthew sing that? We do too. So I was thinking of all these songs, and then I'm like, doggone it, we've sung a song together here the times I've been here, and I want to do it again, so. Jesse Colin Young tune. Love is but a song we sing, and fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, you may not know why. Here we go. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Twice is better. Here we go. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, and we will surely pass. When the one who left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight, just fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Let's do this one a cappella, okay? Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song we sing, you will understand. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Here we go. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Try to love one another right now. One more. Try to love one another right now. Yeah. Thank you. That's it. You guys sounded good. Even through masks, it just was plenty. It was good. So I've played guitar for a long time in my life, and when you think about songs, you think about, oh, I'd like that melody, or I'd like that chord. I'd never written a song with this chord. And I wanted to do one, but I wasn't sure what I was going to write one about. And this is a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 3. And I heard Reverend Nina, I heard you speak, right? I heard her speaking, you cannot not be part of God, right? If God's infinite, you cannot not be part of that. So there is no other was the bottom line. And so I wrote this song, Forrest Gump line. That's all I have to say about that. So. Too often we're reminded that it's darkest before the dawn. Thank God my soul's not blinded, and that we're all expressions of the loving one, and that there is no other, just the one. There is no other, only the one. And now I'm digging down through layers. We've all got that spark inside, and when my candle's just a flicker, let my oneness find me where the love resides, where there is no other, just the one. There is no other, only the one. Only the one. Only the one. When my tears fog my eyes and my fears they only burn, I pray for memories from the other side, where the brilliant light of love returns, and where there is no other. Though we are sisters and brothers, there is no other, only the one. There is no other. We may be fighters or lovers, there is no other, only the one. Because I am, oh I am, let me remember that I am. Because I am, oh I am, let me remember that I am, that I am, that I am. There is no other. There is no other. There is no other. Only the one. Only the one. There is no other. We are the one.
Good morning. I feel like I've already been to church. I know what Richard means when he says that. And you are about to find out how absolutely perfect that song is for today and this talk. So, welcome everybody. It feels a little weird to be up here without a mask, with all of you masked. So, and thank you, Linda, for your beautiful opening prayer. Thank you. My name is Reverend Nina Clark, and I am the Associate Minister here at Unity in Lynnwood, and it is my undying and ongoing honor and privilege to welcome you here today. I'm so grateful to see all of you here today. So we like to start with our mission statement, which is short and sweet. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. It's one of those that you can just kind of, okay, practical spirituality, welcoming community, but there's a lot in those 4 words. We are a community that teaches practical tools for living your best life, for expressing your best self, for becoming more and more of who you are. I think that's pretty cool. And we are also a welcoming community. A community who intentionally practices opening our arms again and again and again, because it's so easy for us to become insular. It's so easy for us to feel like we're welcoming when we look at all these faces that we love so well and are so familiar with, that we forget when new people come that we need to include them. And so we intentionally practice that in this community, turning around, opening our circles, accepting and embracing all who are new here, so that they become a part of our growing and expanding history as a community. And then several years ago, I won't pretend to know how many anymore, our whole community gathered together to create that mission statement and 6 bullet points that kind of undergird it. And today I'll share the 6th one of those with you. We had a lot to say as a community about who we are. We welcome people from all spiritual traditions or from no spiritual tradition whatsoever into every activity of our community. So hopefully that resonates with you here. Prayer is something that's integral to our community. It's integral to the Unity teachings. And I think sometimes we think that the time to turn to prayer is when our life is down around our ankles. You know, we kind of truck along when everything is going great, and all of a sudden, whoops, things aren't going the way I like, let me go get some prayer. Prayer is so much more than that. I encourage you to get prayer as often as you can. Whenever you're here, sit with a prayer chaplain. What they do is see the highest of you, no matter what is going on in your life. Even if you think you're on cloud 9, they will see you on cloud 11. Cloud 21, Cloud 54. They will continue to see a larger vision of you than you're currently holding for yourself. So if you want your life to just keep getting better and better, I encourage you to sit with a prayer chaplain as often as you can. They will know the truth of you during the times that you can't see it for yourself, and they will always know a greater truth for you than what you can see for yourself. And I know that's true for me. Oh, so today's prayer chaplain is Shelley. Would you wave? Oh, we have two? Oh, who's it? Okay. Colleen, I'm sorry. I only had one on my list. So Colleen and Shelley. So, so if you'd like to have prayer today in person, then they will come and just stay seated and they will come and find you. And if you are in our online sanctuary and would like prayer today, go ahead and you can do it right now, or you can wait and do it immediately after service. Go ahead and send an email to prayer@unityinlynnwood.org and leave a message. And leave a message with your phone number so that they can call you back, and expect a call from an anonymous number after this service. They are happy to hold you in prayer. Will you share our invocation with me today? You can say it out loud with me, or you can repeat it in your head, or you can just let the words wash through you, whatever works for you. But for those of you who would like to say it aloud, may we say it together. Though imaged and named variously, there is a singular and eternal ground of being from which all life emanates and into which all life retreats. We choose to call this ground of being God. By extension, we come to understand that we are spiritual in nature, human in expression, and limitless in potential. We gather today to remember such truths, to celebrate our unity, and to honor all life. Thank you. Tickets are now available for our 40th anniversary gala. Just go to Unity in Lynnwood's website, to the calendar page, October 23rd. Click on the button there to purchase your seat to join in our celebration. Tickets range from $140 to $540, and the 40 is because it's our 40th anniversary. They include hors d'oeuvres and delicious vegetarian buffet, plus a scrumptious dessert, all of which is created by Soul Green's new chef, Robin Harville. And then there will also be a special 40th anniversary presentation. Virtual tickets are also available. And we would like you to know that we have your well-being in our minds and hearts as we plan for this celebration gathering. Guests will be expected to mask during all non-table times, such as entering and exiting the building and trips to the restrooms, and encouraged to mask when not actively eating or drinking. And we're going to arrange the seating the same way that we did last year, so it'll be kind of like going to a restaurant. The seats will be distanced between them, and our scrumptious meal will be served buffet style by gloved and masked food servers. So we're going to take good care of you. Please know that costumes are not required to attend the gala, but you can if you want. We invite you to don your favorite evening attire, whether that's an evening gown or a tux, business casual or total casual, and join us for an evening of delicious food, excellent music, exquisite company, which means you all, and a joyous time of celebrating UIL's 40th birthday. And we hope to see you there. You ready? Chapter 3. Your mind exists as a state of consciousness within the mind of God. This is a quote from the book, The Creative Life by Eric Butterworth. Your mind exists as a state of consciousness within the mind of God. Just take that in for a minute. Today, I am tasked with speaking about the 3rd chapter in Eric Butterworth's book, The Creative Life. And as I read and digested his work, I felt that I might be able to give these ideas the most justice by presenting what the ideas he's presenting in chapter 3 and then folding that idea back in to the ideas presented in the first 2 chapters, hopefully kind of weaving them together as we move towards a cohesive whole. I think these ideas are very intimately entwined with each other. So this chapter is titled, Let the Dry Land Appear. And in it, Butterworth writes, on the 3rd day of creation, when the account reads, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. What Butterworth says, what you need to understand is that the dry land is the mental image of formed thoughts, the ability to see what can be as opposed to what is. And the power, he says, the power to see what might be is one of the chief traits of the creative genius. Now, many of us have been taught that to see what might be is to hold an image of what we want in our head and embrace it, all in order to get what we want. But Butterworth feels that this is an oversimplification. He feels that deciding on what you want and pasting pictures of it around the house and hanging them from the rearview mirror of your car or pinning them to the memo board at your office desk where you can see them frequently, he calls this metaphysical gimmickry. He feels it's a corruption of what he feels is a beautiful spiritual process. He says that operates more on the idea that we are trying to attract something to ourselves which is outside of ourselves. But the truth is, there is nothing outside of ourselves. And this is what Butterworth is wanting us to see and to know in the depths of our being. He wants us to understand that our consciousness is the same consciousness as the ground of all being, and that our work is getting ourselves re-centered in the awareness of our oneness with God. So this 3rd step in the creative process, the creation of dry land from the surrounding waters, is really about imaging from the inside out. And Butterworth calls this the I-amaging process. And I put that up on the slide because otherwise might not get his little thing there, the I-amaging. He says I-amaging is not about seeing the image like it's a projection separate from you. It's more like seeing from the image being the energy of an idea. And this subtle shift changes everything. So if it's not about creating an image in your mind or even cutting pictures out and hanging them around the house in order to remind us of what it is that we're wanting to create, what is it? Butterworth says, I-amaging is releasing all that we already are from within ourselves. It is seeing the dry land while the waters are still gathered together, before dry land can be seen. When done this way, you're not so much seeing an image, you're seeing from an image. Butterworth says that you literally exude the consciousness of your dreams or ideas because you are vibrating with their reality. So what I hear him saying is that you are still creating an image of what you are desiring to create, but you don't see it as separate from you. Remember, there is nothing outside of ourselves. So in his I-amaging process, you become it. You step inside of it. You feel it to already be so, down deep in the marrow of your bones. You vibrate with the reality of it before it is seen. You see the dry land, or you know that the dry land is there before the waters are gathered to reveal it. Michael Beckwith says it this way: you're not trying to attract something to yourself. You're seeking to have the frequency and the vibration that you already have it. And then you radiate to that frequency. And then that frequency, that vibration, condenses itself into your needs met. It condenses itself into open possibilities or open opportunities. It condenses itself into possibilities. It condenses itself into new things coming into your life, but not without you becoming more you. And the you becoming more you means that you understand more deeply your oneness with the ground of all being, that there is nothing outside of you because nothing can be outside of you. It's all happening in God. Butterworth gives the example of a time when he was standing looking at a skyscraper in the process of being built. And there was a picture on the fence. You know how that is when you're watching a big hole in the ground. There's a picture on the fence of a mock-up of what it's going to look like. And he says the same thing was there. There was a picture on the fence of what the building would look like when it's completed. And he said the picture reminded him that the building itself was not possible until the dry land emerged as an image in the mind of an architect. The architect didn't go out and copy an image of the building from something else and paste it all over town, trying to remember what he wanted to do and try and attract it. The idea was within him, and he saw from it and started to vibrate with it. And then he drew it, and then he tweaked it until it took form. And I know that everyone in this room has experienced this. You may just not have given it the attention or the credit it deserved. When you have that flash of an aha, an answer, an idea, how something can be done, are you really seeing an image in your mind? It doesn't always show up that way, does it? And you're certainly not necessarily seeing it with your naked eye because it hasn't come out yet. What you are is you're seeing from that image, from that idea, from that vibration. It's like you're seeing through it. And so to back this up to the first two chapters, when we know who and what we truly are, emanations of God, expressions of God, inseparable from the infinite one, then we can enter this process with intention. We no longer place our faith in I can't and in worry and in lack. We place our faith in can do, in abundance. Remember that Butterworth told us there is no such thing as a lack of faith. We all have plenty of faith. It's just that we have faith in the wrong things. We can have faith in what can't be done rather than in what can be done. So, we cultivate a deep and abiding faith in our oneness with the all that is. And when we know that and have faith in that, then we know that it all already exists within us. It all already exists within us because all of creation exists within us as God, for there is nowhere else for it to be. I think of Myrtle. I love Myrtle, co-founder of Unity. What gave rise to her healing was hearing the words, you are a child of God and you cannot inherit sickness. Something within her clicked, God within. And she began to speak to her body from the frequency of wellness. Because when she got that, she understood, she knew that God could only be wholeness. She became the knowing of this truth, and it transformed her in the process. So I know this can be hard to get because I think these steps are intimately intertwined. I personally don't think God goes, step one, step two. I think it's an organic thing. But as we're learning it, it helps us to kind of tease it apart a little bit, to know what it is that we're doing, and especially because we need to really, really get this idea that there is only one thing happening. So I'd like to share a couple examples from my own life, if you don't mind. As Richard says, yeah, what you gonna say? I love that. These are small things, but we gotta start somewhere. So in the first one, I had been working for the season in Maine, working at a summer camp, and was planning on leaving within the month. And I decided I wanted an inexpensive garment bag for a couple of nicer items that I had picked up over the summer. Inexpensive because one doesn't make a lot of money as a summer camp counselor. I didn't visualize the garment bag. I had not even heard of that practice. But I remember having the feeling that it was already mine. A group of us went to Boston for the weekend, and as the day wore on, I had yet to find the bag that I was looking for. And then in the late afternoon, as we were heading to dinner, I saw a garment bag, bright orange, hanging on the wall behind the register in some kind of a surplus store, like an army surplus store, or some kind of outdoorsy surplus store. The store itself was super crowded with one guy behind the register, and people are like yelling at him, "How much is this? How much is that? Check me out!" So I went in, and because he looked completely overwhelmed, I thought, I'm just going to stand here quietly and just wait for him to have a moment. And kind of wondering how much the bag on the wall was. I was hoping at bright orange it was inexpensive. And as his head turned from answering the question of one person to getting ready to check out somebody else who was clamoring for him at the register, his eyes passed over me, and he saw me standing there quietly. And he pointed at me over the top of everybody's head and said, "You, what can I do for you?" And I smiled, I was surprised, smiled and said, "How much is that garment bag on the wall?" And he said, "For you, free." And he handed it to me with a smile, and I thanked him profusely, and he said, "Hey, no worries, you made my day. You're the only one not yelling at me, I'm good." So I didn't hold an image in my mind. I didn't cut out pictures. The garment bag in my consciousness was already mine. It existed within me. I just needed to move about until I bumped into it. I vibrated at the frequency of it and was drawn to it as surely as the sun rises. Looking back and framing it in Butterworth's words, I can see that the dry land had emerged within my consciousness in the form of a garment bag. But it was not an image, and it was not bright orange, I promise you. But it showed up, free of charge. One more story. When I was in my 20s, I had an older VW Bug with a funny little quirk. Kind of, willy-nilly, every once in a while, the starter would shift down just a little bit, so I couldn't start it. That's all that would happen. So my mechanic had thrown up his arms in bafflement and said that the only thing he could do was to pull everything out of the car and start over. And that was going to be a lot more money at the time than I had. And so I just accepted the quirk, and I just started looking for parking spots that would allow me to usually point nose down so that I could, if I needed to, I could just pop the clutch, roll the car, pop the clutch, and off to go. I want to say that I was living in San Francisco at the time. Okay, so you get this. So when I look back at that time, what I notice is that it never occurred to me that I wouldn't be able to get in my car and go. I lived from a place of knowing that when I returned to my car, one way or another, even if the only spot that I could find was nose up, or between two cars on a hill, or when I'd come back and find that somebody had parked too close, it never occurred to me that I wouldn't be able to get in my car and go. Sometimes when that happened, I would have to push the car a little bit. You kind of back it up and push it back and forth to get out of the spot. But someone would always, if I couldn't get it going, somebody would always show up to help me. And there are so many people in San Francisco who could tell the story of helping some crazy girl push her car out of parking spots where she was apparently trapped. At all times of the day and night, people would show up to help me push my car. And one evening, 5 gentlemen poured out of an apartment building because one of them had spotted me through the window doing that number. The car this time was pointed face up, nose up, and so I was, and they're light, and I was 20, so you could push it, So you'd pull the emergency brake up, and you'd turn the wheel, or you'd turn the wheel this way, and you'd push, push, push. Then you push the emergency brake up, and then you'd release it, turn the wheel, put it up, So they're watching me do this, and they come pouring out to help me push the car. Because it didn't occur to me that it could be any other way, the universe just showed up all the time to support me. I lived at the vibration of always being able to drive my car away. And so the medium, that is God, that I was immersed in, responded to that, responded to the frequency I had and the faith that I had in it. And I realized that these are small things in the grand scope of our lives. I mean, I think we often want to think of using principle for the bigger things in our lives, but we don't necessarily think about it for the small things. But I think starting with the small things is super helpful, because this is where we get practice, and this is where we get confident that, where things don't seem so risky or where they don't seem so important. We can get with it there, and as we gain confidence, we can use it and apply it in the bigger areas of our lives. So let's go back to the Butterworth quote with which I opened this talk. I'm going to add the rest of the sentence this time. Your mind exists as a state of consciousness within the mind of God. The same mind that inspired the creative genius of the great thinkers of all time. Sit with that statement for a moment. Your mind exists as a state of consciousness within the mind of God. That same mind that inspired the creative genius of the greatest thinkers of all time. And it will create through you uniquely, because you are a unique expression of God, of this one amazing life. And the more you lay down that which keeps you small, and the more often you remind yourself of who and what you truly are, you will uncover and discover more of what you are capable of and what you came here to do. I'll close with this quote from the book. Butterworth says, "Remember Emerson saying, 'You are an inlet and may become an outlet to all there is in God'? All there is, not just good enough, not just I'll make the best of it, but all there is. So let your allness be revealed. Release your inner beauty. Release your imprisoned splendor." Shall we have a moment of meditation? So I just encourage you to sit in that knowingness of the allness of what you are. That you are a point of consciousness in the one consciousness that is everywhere present. That the same mind that is God's mind is your mind. The same creativity that is God's creativity is your creativity. There is only one. There is only one thing happening. We tend to think we end at the edge of our bodies, and we don't. So when we take time to close our eyes, and just allow your imagination to let you be bigger. You are not limited to this bag of carbon and water. It is how you express the all that you are in this world of form. So take a deep breath and allow yourself to expand into the fullness of your being, at least as big as your arms stretch out to the sides of you. Allow yourself to be at least that big. And notice how much larger you feel, how much more power there is in that. How much fuller you are. How much more room there is for the all that you are. And you are even bigger than that. The affirmation for today is, let there be dry land. I let my allness be revealed. Whatever it is that you are wanting to express in your life, know that you are one with God, because you cannot not be. There is no other way. And let your faith in the knowing of that, let your faith in the knowing of that give rise to full and expansive creative expression. Be courageous. Dare to step into a fuller version of yourself. Dare to express the ideas that are yet to even bubble up within you. Make space for those. They don't all have to be big. They can feel small, but they are still important and significant. And they add to this beautiful tapestry of this experience we call life. Allow yourself to just rest in the knowing of that for a moment. And then let gratitude rise up in you for the knowing of this truth, for the knowing this much more of the truth, for whatever you were able to expand into today. Be grateful for that. And let it be so. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. I read Eric Butterworth's chapter 3 2 times this week, but I needed a skilled teacher to bring it alive for me. So thank you very, very much. You did that. Right now, we will pause for a ritual moment for what we call the offering. It's a time to acknowledge the nourishment and inspiration we receive from our Unity in Lynnwood community, and by doing that with a financial gift. There are many ways available here to make giving easy. For anyone present today, there is a bowl outside the sanctuary where you can leave a gift as you exit. You'll also see on the screen behind me here the number that you can use if you want to use your cell phone and do a text-to-give gift. You'll also see the Unity in Lynnwood website where you will find a donate button. That's very easy to use. And on our website, you'll find the physical address for Unity in Lynnwood in case sending a check by mail is the easiest way for you. This morning, let's make sure our pause for giving is a mindful pause. Many of us participate in automatic giving, which means that we have an amount of money taken from an account each month, and that's very easy and very convenient. It would be easy with automatic giving to give without much thought or conscious awareness. And I'm going to suggest that we take just a few seconds to make our gifts, however they're being given now or at another time, mindful. Let's pause long enough to create a picture in our minds of the flow and the circulation of some gift or blessing moving into our very own life from this abundant universe and then out from us, blessing others. The mindful process of receiving with heartfelt gratitude and then giving with joy and loving intentions feeds our vitality and the vitality of the work that's done with those very gifts. We are most grateful and we sincerely thank you for all the gifts given to support the life of our community and its work in the world.
Well, thank you for your love and more, gifts untold, and shelter from the cold. When I'm feeling sad or lonely, you let me know I'm not the only one who's ever been here. Well, thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for. Through all my noise, you've given me the choice. Though I complain sometimes about the cold rain, you pick me up so I can listen for a while to just the things that I've been missing in my life. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for.
Thank you, Steve. I was just thinking as you were singing that sharing this space with you this morning makes it feel very much like home. Thank you. We have a few invitations to end with this morning, and the first one, I will invite John Brooks, our Board of Trustees Chair, to come up and deliver.
Thank you, Linda. Good morning, everyone. You all look so fantastic. So I'm here to give you a sales pitch. So as many of you have heard in recent weeks, we are looking for people to volunteer to serve on the Board of Trustees beginning in January. And I'm here to tell you that I have been on 5 boards in my life, and this is the very, very best. We just have a super, super team. And it's just exciting to see us engage in some of the visioning that's going on. You know, 3 years ago, we didn't have a gazebo. You know, a year ago, you couldn't go in the land for the needles that were there. You know, we're gonna have a kitchen here within the next year. It's unbelievably great stuff happening. So I want to extend an invitation to you. The forms that tell you a little bit about the bylaws and the sign-ups are on the back in the welcome information station. And if you have any questions, you know, just ask me. Jennifer's here as well from the board, and we just want to make you understand that this is really a cool place to serve. Thank you.
For good measure. Thank you, John. The Creative Life study groups that parallel the book that both Reverend Nina and Dr. Richard are teaching from for 7 weeks are happening on Sunday afternoon, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. in the morning, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. So these are opportunities you have to think more deeply about these ideas. And I was just reminded as we listened today, they are very deep ideas. So chewing on them makes tremendously good sense to me. I want to share with you some standing small group ministry activities ongoing, and all of our activities can be signed up for, accessed by going to our website, going to the calendar page, and then clicking on that specific activity. So our standing small group ministry events are a Unity in Lynnwood Connects meeting that happens on the 2nd and the 4th Thursdays at 7 p.m. That's a Zoom meeting for fun and connection. We have a Students of Myrtle study group happening on the last Sundays, which is a hybrid meeting, meaning that some people are meeting here on site, some people Zoom in virtually. Happens at 12:30 p.m. And the Search for God study group happens on Monday evenings at 7 p.m. On Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., Reverend Nina offers an interlude, a time during the week for a booster shot, so to speak. Just came to me. this Saturday, on the 25th, we have a grounds cleanup event happening just before a different kind of weather settles in. It would be so lovely to have people's help in sprucing up the grounds. And the last one is an annual membership meeting happening on Sunday, October 17th. So please mark your calendar for that. Thank you.
So John asked me to mention that for those of you online who would like to look more into volunteering for our board, you can go ahead and email administration@unityinlynnwood.org, and you will receive the appropriate form to fill out. I also wanted to mention that September 15th marked Dr. Richards' 8th year as our spiritual director here at Unity in Lynnwood. So for those of you online, if you want to give him a little shout out in the chat box, that's great. And we will be doing a little something next Sunday. That little something. I won't say more just in case you know who might be watching. Shall we go ahead and close in prayer? I think these ideas are big ideas. And I think that it takes, as Linda said, chewing on them. Sometimes I'd like to say wrestling with them to really bring them in and get them in the marrow of our bones. But it is worth the effort. I just want to say that. So in chapter 1, Reverend Butterworth talked about that we are one with the all that is. We are one with God. And it is his deep desire in writing this book that at the end of it, when we close the final page, that we get that it is impossible for us to be separate from God. One of my teachers one time said, infinite is everything that there is. And so anyone that thinks that they are outside of infinite, that is arrogance. If you think you're the only one, if I think I'm the only one that can be outside of that which is infinite, that's arrogance. That spoke to me at a time when I was entrenched in separation. So we cannot help. We cannot help. There's no place we can run. We cannot run far enough away and suddenly we're on the other side of God. It doesn't work that way. So there's only one. We are of it. And the more we talk to ourselves about that and sit with that and get it and repeat it to ourselves, the deeper our faith in that knowing gets. And that's step 2. We become so faithful that we know that we are a part of God. And therefore we know then that which we create comes from that allness that is God. And then, step 3, we come to learn that it's never outside of us. That which we are wanting to give birth to is never and cannot be outside of us. So in reality, we are only revealing that which is already present within us. So let us take these ideas and sit with them for the week and let them grow and expand and, I like to say, have their way with us so that we truly, truly can express more and more of our true potential, of our true God potential, that which is already within us. And so it is. And if we could close with words of farewell and benediction. Thank you, Steve.
May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within